Board of Supervisors for November 4th is back in session, and we're going to stick to existing timed items. So the first item will be 9B at 1:30. This is a presentation by Brook Trails Community Township, and then we'll go to the 1:45 item, which is the tsunami briefing, and then I apologize, but then we will take up the timed item that is held over from 11 a.m. Public expression report concerning illegal camping along the Russian River. So let's take up item 9B, and if we could stick to the timing, I'd appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Mike Chapman. I'm the manager of Brook Trails. I'm in my 9th year there. And I appreciate this opportunity. I'll be very brief about where we're at on the second access road and how it ties into with our other projects. Just to give you a little background, we're just now finishing our $3 million dam, and literally they're taking away the equipment today as we speak. So in the past 3 years, we spent $4.5 million regarding water projects, and I can certainly see the light at the end of the tunnel on the moratorium. I won't really get into that issue, but I really want to speak to the second access road and the concept and the importance of this feasibility study that's coming to us this December. I'm not here to get into the routes, but I will suggest to you that we have, according to Phil Dow, who's the MCOG director, at our meeting in July, we have approximately 10,000 cars running up Sherwood Road. And as you know, the population in Brook Trails plus, the other subdivisions up there is probably more like 4,500 people. And we've had, just since September, we've had 8 accidents on this road because it's we only have 11-foot lanes. We have no shoulders. You come around these hairpin curves. If somebody's in your lane, you hit head on, or you go off the cliff, or you go into the ditch. You got your choice. So this issue of the second access road is becoming more predominant. The way I look at Brook Trails is we're going through a 4-phased construction program. We've done the first 2 major projects, and I consider the second access as a public safety item is the next project that's on our platter that we have to confront. Obviously, if we can get by this second access road and tie it into the Willits bypass, at some point we will then turn our attention to the last dam project, which would basically entail quadrupling the size of Lake Ada Rose. It's definitely a doable project. I think it could certainly help the county in the housing prospects because we'd have enough water for an additional 2,500 homes. That would take us to our build out on the specific plan. I certainly would like to invite this board and possibly next summer to come to Brook Trails. We have a lovely room that's actually a little larger than this. We don't have as nice chairs, but we certainly have a beautiful community. I'd like to take you and show you the new dam that we built because it's built to 2008 standards. We now have control of our watershed 12 months out of the year, not 6 months out of the year like most water districts. I would be glad to entertain any of your questions if you have some. Otherwise, I'd like to concede my time to this next gentleman. Questions?
Supervisor.
More of a comment, Mike. I think it's very commendable of you and your board up there from taking a water project and increasing the size of the dam on actually what is considered it's a fish-bearing stream. So, and that was a 3-year period. And so that's something that this county, when we talk about 10, 20 years to do a project, that is, as an example of Brook Trails, that's unacceptable. I mean, think of what Brook Trail's done with their limited resources in a 3-year period on a fish stream. Our project is basically on a fish stream, and we're told it's going to take 10 years. I mean, it can be done if you put the attention to it and get right after it, as Mr. Chapman and his bosses have the board of directors. So I wanted to focus in on just that point.
Well, thank you. And part of that is that we have our financial house in order, and we have the capability with our cash flows to handle projects because we anticipate the problems that are coming down the pipe. Other questions?
Mike, I witnessed firsthand the traffic congestion the other night coming off Sherwood Road. And not only does it back up, clear up the hill, but it backs up north past the high school, and it backs up clear past almost down to Commercial Avenue.
Right.
And certainly you're coming to a critical mass, and
Well,
we're going to
the-
have to be addressing
The
that.
point of the matter is, if we have an accident, the traffic backs up 1 to 2 miles. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, at this time, we'd like to take up the timed item 6D. This is a tsunami briefing and presentation, discussion, possible action regarding approval of Mendocino County's participation in live code tsunami warning test on March 25th, 2009. To the CEO as the sponsor, Mr. Woodworth.
Yes, let me turn some time over to Bill Woodworth from Emergency Services. Bill, would you do the introductions before we get
Will.
started here?
Certainly will. Mr. Chairman, Board, I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Jim Goltz from the Office of Emergency Services and Dr. Lori Dangler from from Humboldt State University. These are the two people who I would trust in giving me any information I need about tsunamis and about the threat here in Mendocino County, and they're prepared to give you a short presentation. At the end of Dr. Goltz's presentation, I'd like to adjourn those